Hi everyone, and welcome to Business 203 Business Communication, and Happy New Year to all of you. This is a new academic semester, the spring semester, spring 2017, and I wish you a happy new year, calendar new year. So I pray that all will be well with all of you and that you had a wonderful semester break and an enjoyable holiday season. So now we're ready to get to work. And you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, that in the announcements page, which is what you're looking at right now, you'll also notice that I've made the course available to you, that all types of communication, and I talk about all types, not just written communication. When we hear business communication, we automatically think that it's writing only. No, all types of communication, your oral communication, your body language, everything has to be clear, has to be concise, has to be correct, has to be complete, has to be courteous. We'll talk about this throughout the entire semester. Also, I noticed that this semester I have mostly management students. I have about 2 or 3 office technology students, and I have a rad tech student and a dental hygiene student and 2 liberal arts students and a community health student. So this is mostly going to be a business management class, which is fine. It's the same way I treated if we were mostly office technology and few business management students or accounting students. So therefore, that means that this course is a business course. So those of you who are outside of the department, the liberal arts students, the rad tech, the dental hygiene students, make sure you understand that this is a business course and you will be working in a business environment, whether that business environment is a community-based organization, a hospital, a clinic, any type of a art studio, any type of business, a religious institution. Everyone needs to be in a business environment. That means we need to think of the client, the person that we're serving, how we're going to grab that person's attention to do what we want them to do. Same way when you grab your children's attention. What's the best way of communicating with your children rather than screaming and punishing them all the time? What can we do? What can they do to communicate? This is really what we're looking at, communication. All right, but specifically for business communication. So obviously you've read the announcement page and you notice that our first day of class is Thursday, February 2nd, even though the first day of class for the college and for CUNY is January 30th. Our class meets on February 2nd in the faculty staff dining room located in the back of the C building cafeteria. I will be there in front of the cafeteria to guide you, all right? And we'll talk about the assignments in a minute, but I want to make sure that you understand where we're supposed to be for the first day of class. You'll notice also in the menus, this is what we're looking at, the menu bars. We have the CUNY policies and the CUNY Hostos policies. Those are the policies that I follow throughout the semester. We are a CUNY institution, and I am a CUNY faculty member. So these policies have to do with integrity, plagiarism. So we'll talk more about that later on when you do your assignments. Course documents. If you take a look at course documents and click into the course documents, I just want to do that first. I have a videotape of an office technology business meeting. This will interest the students who are in the office technology program, what we're doing, and I just think it's important for you to review that, particularly office technology students. So let's go into course information. All right, you'll notice the course description. Everything that's in your syllabus is on this course information. So all I did was break down the topics from the course syllabus into the Blackboard so that you would be doubly aware of how important it is with the material that we're covering in the syllabus, so that I put it on Blackboard as well, separately. Course description, course objectives, those you could read on your own. The guidelines to professionalism, this involves every student, not just business students, or those of you who are in liberal arts. You are all preparing, all of us, we're in a community college preparing for our career. We are not preparing for a job, and even if you are working at a job, meaning that you are working as in McDonald's or something that you know is part-time and that's not your career, thinking about any type of job, especially those positions, entry-level positions that are preparing you for advancement and promotion. And this is what we're looking at, ladies and gentlemen. Professionalism, your guideline to professionalism. Pay attention to all 10 of these steps in the classroom, which will prepare you for future goal in whatever it is, whether it's a manager, whether it's an accountant, whether it's an office technology medical manager, or administrative assistant, or a dental hygienist, or a rad technician. These are all important for you to remember that this is your goal to be a professional. And how do we start becoming professionals? By paying attention to what we're doing in the classroom right now. All right, so I just want you to be aware of that. We will go over that more clearly and more succinctly in the first day, on the first day of class. So we look at our gen ed principles, rubrics. Make sure you read through that. Hybrid section. Please read the information in this section. This is a hybrid course. We meet once a week. We will do class activities, and those class activities will be done in teams. And you'll notice right over here, ladies and gentlemen, that I have your teams, and we'll get to that in a minute. But in your hybrid section, this is information as to what you will need when you come to the first day of class on February 1st. So I'm sorry about that. I made a mistake. I thought I had corrected everything. I changed everything. But our first day of class is Thursday, February 1st. In addition, you'll notice that in the assignments, ladies and gentlemen, okay, in terms of hybrid, you have class assignments, and if you're not in class, you're not going to receive credit for it. We'll talk about your grades in a minute as to how important everything that you do in the class is. In this section, I talk about learning styles, in-class assignments. So let's take a look at what we mean by in-class assignments. This is only for your face-to-face. We'll concentrate on course content via team building assignments. The teams are already posted in Teams in Blackboard. The face-to-face class assignments will count towards your final grade. Therefore, you are expected to attend every class. And here we are in Teams. Now, I'm assuming that when you look into Teams, you only see one team. All right? And that one team that you see is your team. So if you look at your team number one, your team members in number one, all right, which might be the only one that shows, these are your team members. So if team number two shows only, those are your team members, 3, etc., etc. You may, only because my site, this is my site, and therefore you get to see everything. I tried to put this on student mode, right? So let's go back to course information, all right? Go back to learning and understanding what this course is all about. So we talked about this as being a hybrid, learning styles, in-class assignments. The difference, those of you in my office technology class, the difference between this class, Business 203, and OT 104 is that Business 204 is a writing intensive section. There are 2 sections to Business 203. I teach the writing intensive, and Professor Carol Huey teaches the other section, which is not writing intensive. And here you have an explanation of what writing intensive is. You also have the writing center video. Remember, we're training to be professionals. I'm sending you out as junior professionals. That means you have to write, and sometimes you have to revise, and you have to keep on revising. All right, I've already just gone through a project where I'm putting all my material together for promotion, and how many times I've had to revise my material. And I've been writing since I was 5 years old, ladies and gentlemen, or really 6 when I was in the 1st grade. And my first language and only language, my Spanish is pitiful, but my first and only language is English. And so if I've had to revise and have other people look at my writing, then all of you will also have to do the same thing. No one's writing is perfect. We are all with writing. Our first writing is a draft. After that, we have somebody look at our writing, and that person makes revisions, and then we move on from there. So that's the whole point of thinking about writing intensive. You will be writing for the rest of your life. I don't care what the profession is. Dental hygiene, rad tech, you will be writing. You'll be writing notes. You'll be writing charts. You'll be writing managers, or will be writing reports, projects, grants, all kinds of things. The same thing with community health workers, or those of you in liberal arts who are planning to go into criminal justice or any type of social work. You're going to be writing. Those of you particularly in psychology and sociology will be writing case study notes. All right, so it's very important for you to understand the value and the importance of writing. So make sure you take a look at this video. And remember, some of you, English is your second or third language, which is really terrific. You have a lot to offer and you have a lot of knowledge because you have two or three languages. However, you still have to write coherently in English. And that's why I may assign some of you to the writing center if you're having a lot of difficulty writing sentences in English and getting your point across. Remember, the whole idea is to get a message to your sender, the person that you're trying to reach, to buy a product or to buy your service. You're selling something. What are you trying to sell? You're selling something to your children as well. You're selling to your children good behavior, the best getting their best potential, the same as I'm trying to get your best potential. So how do you do that? That's how I want you to think about this class. In addition, I want you to think about how you're selling yourself, marketing yourself. How are you marketing yourself? All right, and writing is one of the ways to market. All right, so we've gone through what writing intensive is. Good. And we also know that this is a hybrid section. Now, what are we going to learn in the class? Obviously, I've talked to you about writing, but we're going to be doing other things. So if you take a look here, this is where our syllabus is. And when you look at the syllabus, ladies and gentlemen, this is pretty much the same thing that I have in, that I've put in headings in Blackboard. All right, so make sure that you open it up just like you do any other Word document, and you'll notice what I have over here, so you know what to do. Okay, we can go on to the next. Okay, on to the next topic. Okay, and this is a list of all the topics that will be covered for this semester. All right. And you'll see we have our introductory assignments in I start with chapters 4, 5, and 6. I get into the writing, not even just writing, but I get into formulating messages right away, organizing and writing, revising, etc. Then we do our own writing, positive messages. We'll have individual midterm presentations, part 1 and 2. We'll have a midterm exam that's going to be online. And then we go back to, after chapter 10, we go back to chapters 1 and 2, 1, 2, and 3. Then we have a team final presentation and a team final exam that's online. Forgive me for the midterm presentation errors. See what I mean by revision and having somebody review? Perfect example. Wonderful. I'm glad you see that. Okay, so we are all human, but you pay me $85,000 to be perfect. All right, and so far I've lost about $2,000 right there. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look at who I am. So we understand what we have to do, what our course objective is, and the topics. And this is just a little introduction. I didn't bother to do an actual video of myself because almost all of you know who I am. You've seen me in the hallway. The Office Technology students know who I am. I have advised some of you. And you will also see a video of me in my video introduction in my e-portfolio, and that I'll make available as soon by the end of next week. You'll have it available so that you can see who I am. But this is briefly an introduction as to who I am. Nothing much has changed except that now I'm 70 years old, and I'm very proud of being 70 years old. So I enjoy teaching. You'll notice that somewhere along the line, I think I've said that. Well, obviously I told you that I began teaching in 1972. Yes, here it is. So that makes 44 years of teaching, and I enjoy every bit of teaching. You'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, that you have my cell phone. So I prefer that you text me rather than call me unless it's a real emergency, because it's easier to reach me by text than it is by cell. You have my Skype address, and for some of you, for a good many of you, we may be Skyping so that I can go over your work to make sure that you understand the assignment. Whether I take the initiative, you could also take the initiative and Skype me, request a Skype visit. That's fine. My office hours, if these are not convenient, you send me an email or you text me and ask me, tell me the days and the times that are right for you. I'm available in the evenings as well, except Wednesday evening. Again, here is my e-portfolio, but that I'll share with you, make it public at the end of next week. I'm still working on some aspects of it. What's our textbook? Textbook is business communication. The textbook obviously is in the bookstore. However, if you want to download chapters or the textbook on your cell phone or your PDA, I have no problem with you bringing cell phone, your iPad, and your laptop to class. We will have access to an iPad in class, each class session. So it's up to you if you want to bring it. But all I'm saying is that the first day of class, February 2nd, I do expect that you have something that looks like a textbook, whether you've rented it, whether you've bought the book, whether you've downloaded it on your cell phone. If you have a burning desire to copy the pages, go ahead and do so, but that's a lot of money that you don't need to spend, and it's so much cheaper to just upload a chapter and you already have the chapters that we're going to cover in class, so there is no surprise in this class. All right, so obviously as quickly as possible, make sure that you do get the textbook. Quite obviously, you know what I forgot to talk to you about were the grades. I talked to you about syllabus, I talked to you about the textbook, I talked to you about myself. So I forgot to tell you what's the grading standards. So our grading standards, ladies and gentlemen, all right, 40% of your grade will be based on formal writing assignments, 10%, and 10% of your grade is going to be e-portfolio, 10% Women's History Month events, team formal writing assignments, and informal team writing assignments. So those are 40% of your grade. That means this is your in-class. Individual presentations for dress, oral class participation, and written paper, 15%. For the team final presentation, dress, oral class class presentation and written report, 15%. Sorry, I've been talking all evening. Discussion and board postings, 10%. Your midterm and your final are both worth 10% each. Now, what does that mean? 80% of your grade is based on your assignments, in-class assignments, your writing assignments, all of the non-test assignments. So if you get 100% on your midterm and 100% on your final, and you have 40 or 50 as your class grade, does that mean that you get an A? It doesn't even mean you get a C. So you have to understand how important it is that you take your classwork and your in-class assignments seriously. And that's why attendance is important, because each class session you will have an in-class assignment that will be graded. Notice also, ladies and gentlemen, there is no extra credit for this class. Don't even think about it. But at the end of the semester, some of you will ask me for extra credit. If you haven't been able to do any of this work, which is 80% of your grade, really, are you going to be able to do something else for extra credit when you haven't even done the required work? There is no incomplete for this course. Don't even think about it. Only on death's doorstep. And I have to see a letter from your doctor or some kind of proof that you could not take the final exam. That's the only way that I would give you an incomplete, and I would have to see some type of documentation. All right? This is a college level class. There is no R. This is a 200 level class. That means it's definitely a college level class. And these are the grades. These are the grades at Hostos. Right? So there's no surprise there. You know that. I expect everyone in this class to get an A. F is for Figueroa, the first letter of my second name, my last name. I do not expect to see an A minus. I don't even expect to see a D. I expect to see only A's in this class. I'm assuming, excuse me, that all of you plan to be professionals, and as such you will act accordingly, and I will treat you as professionals. I treat you as the professionals in training, just as you treat me as the professional, as your mentor. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we've gotten that clear. Now, we talked about the textbook, you've gotten to know who I am, and you go through it a little bit more, course documents, course information, what's required of the course. All right, now you know who your team members are, so after you'll be introducing yourself first in assignments. You're interested, and you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, you have the dates for your individual midterm presentation. It's a large class, so there are 2 days. You have your online midterm exam, okay, and the chapters that will be covered in your textbook. You have the date for your spring break, and the following Thursday is a conversion day, so obviously you're going to have some work. You have the date for your final exam and the date for your final presentation. Even though this is written in stone, we might have snow days. The classes are never canceled. So even if we have snow days, the class and it falls on a day that we meet, we will have a class online. We will never have a canceled class. Okay, so as long as you understand that. So for your introductory assignments, and these are the ones that are due February 1st. Now you say the day before our class meets, and you say to yourself, well, why is she so mean? Well, you'll see how easy these assignments are. You don't even need the textbook for it. However, I will ask you to buy the textbook as soon as possible, and I've already explained different ways for you to have the textbook. Your first introductory assignment in part 2 is to do the Am I Ready video. Those of you who have already taken an online course, whether it's hybrid or asynchronous, have probably done an Are You Ready or Am I Ready video course. I still want you to do it over again. There may be some things that you have forgotten. Some of you may not have had an online course in a while, so I want you to take a look at it. And there's going to be some instructions over there, right? So that's all you have to do is follow the prompts, okay? And you're going to have to submit through this link. How do you submit an assignment? If you don't remember how to submit an assignment, or if you don't remember from the video, because the video will show you how to do it, okay, make sure that you click into submitting an assignment. It's in video format as well as in text format, okay? It's due 11 p.m. Wednesday, February 1st. Okay, and your second assignment is to go into Blackboard. Click in here to go into discussion board. On your discussion board, you'll see a Q&A. Use this forum, ladies and gentlemen. If you're typing something or you're trying to do your assignments and it's 2 o'clock in the morning, or even if it's at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, whatever, and you have a question, and it's not a personal question, you don't understand what's required, post the question in Q&A. I am not the only one who has the answer. Other people may have the answer, especially at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody will be up with you and trying to do their assignments. Somebody's trying to do his or her assignment at the same time. So please post your assignment, post your questions, post your comments, post anything in this Q&A, as long as it's not personal. Do not post your questions about grades. You have to send me an email, or you can send me an email. Don't even text me about your grades. Email me for grades. Anything that's personal, you could use either email or text. If there's an emergency or something's come up, or it's really something personal, but not and don't put anything personal in Q&A. Now for this, introducing yourself, which is due by 11 p.m. Wednesday, February 1st, I want you to begin by creating a video of no more than a minute. Anything more than a minute, you're wasting your time and everybody else's time. So, in which you tell the class your name, your major, the reason you took this course, and the way you expect the course to build on your professional image and skills, and anything else that you would like to share with the class. Obviously, if you go over a minute, you're into a minute and a half, a minute, or 2 minutes, it's not a problem. But I'm not talking about 9 and 10 minutes, okay? In fact, this video that I'm giving you is longer than it should be, all right? So make sure you take this video seriously, because you will incorporate this video in your e-portfolio. And remember, this e-portfolio is not just for the students in this class, but you may be showing this e-portfolio to a potential employer, what you did in your years at Hostos. Now, if you already have an e-portfolio from another course or from another school, by all means use it. Don't create a new one. Just add to the e-portfolio. But make sure you remember that video has to be as perfect as it can be, because it will be on your e-portfolio. That will be part of your requirement for your e-portfolio. The other thing that you're going to create before the class by 11 p.m. Wednesday, February 1st, is the little icon that as soon as you come into Blackboard, you'll see it's always up here. Okay, here's my little icon right here. So each time and for every course that you're taking online in Blackboard, that icon comes up so that people get to know, and it helps me to remember who you are. All right, so you're doing two things by 11 p.m. Wednesday, February 1st. You're introducing yourself and you're creating an avatar. If you have questions on any one of these two, these are the questions that you can post on Q&A. All right, so that other people can help you answer your question. Don't wait for me to answer. I will wait until somebody answers the question, and then I'll check to see if the person has given you a good response, or maybe I can give a better response. All right, or the person might even have a better response than I do. Okay, you'll notice that you have tests, and that's where you're going to be taking your tests. You'll be taking your tests online. We'll be talking more about that. So I look forward to working with all of you. I look forward to meeting all of you before February 2nd. I look forward to meeting with you on February 1st at 11 p.m. before classes start, when you introduce yourself through the discussion board and you create your avatar. I wish you all a good weekend, even though Saturday today we've probably all been snowbound or stuck in the house. But at any rate, I just pray that you enjoy the rest of the weekend. I look forward to meeting you and working with all of you and enjoying learning together how to communicate better. Thank you. Goodbye.